Hello, and welcome to another fresh edition of a Spiritual Soul Book. Today we're going to talk about time that goes fast or time that goes slow. And that's because a lady came over to me and she wanted me to help her on a personal problem she was having. Time, she felt, was going by too fast for her. So I gave her an answer. I gave her something to think about, and she thought about it. And a week or two later, she came over to me and she said, it really helped her a lot. So I'm going to share it with you on today's Spiritual Soul Book. My name is Rabbi Ezagui, and I am a rabbi here in South Florida for the last 36 years. You can send me an email to rsezagui@gmail.com. And I appreciate very much when you send me your emails with suggestions, criticism, constructive advice. I'm all ears. I got 2 ears, and I'm all open to listening and hearing. And that's a good quality that I try to work on every single day. We should try to hear and we should try to listen more than we talk. So this lady came over to me, and actually Rabbi Schneerson, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, encourage people to make themselves a rabbi, a mentor, and to acquire for themselves a friend. The Rebbe emphasized how important it is for people to have friends to talk to, and a mentor, not necessarily anybody that's a nuclear scientist, but somebody that you trust and somebody that you feel is close to you and somebody that you can share your problems and your burdens with them. Sometimes the mere fact that somebody listens to you and that you verbalize your problems, that in itself helps organize the problem. You find sometimes internally the answer to your problems, to your questions. And if the friend is a real good friend, they are people that you can bounce it off of them, and they will give you some good feedback, some good suggestions. So this lady, who I know for many, many years, came over to me and said, Rabbi, time is going by very, very fast, and I'd like it to slow down. What do I do to address this problem? She feels that life is just whizzing by, and before she knows it, she's already 1 year older and 5 years older and 10 years older, and she wants to slow it down so she can make the best out of time. So this is my answer. Time can either go very slow or time can go very fast. Time is very relative, and it's very interesting that that's the way time operates. It's related to the way God created time, and it's related in modern day science to the way quantum physics and quantum mechanics operate. And it's relative. It's very, very relative, time. So I said to her, time can either go very slow, and usually, when does time go very slow? When things are not easy, when you're suffering. And then when you're suffering and it's not going through smoothly, the time, every millisecond counts. You're paying attention to every second because it's calling your attention in a negative way. And who wants to go through time in that kind of a way? Nobody wants time to slow down for them in some kind of a negative way that they're pulled to consider and to think of every single fraction of a moment, every single fraction of a second. That's terrible. That's horrible. That's suffering. That's pain. That's a lot of hardships and difficulty. Or you can go through time where it whizzes right by. As they say, when people are in the flow, you don't even realize that the time is going by when you're enjoying yourself, because then time is not calling your attention to it. You are on another level, and you are able to stay focused on either the productivity or the enjoyment. And so time is in the background. It's not, you're not giving it your attention, and it is not calling you and forcing you to give it any attention. And of course, between the two experiences, it would be much better that we are having a good time and we're not focused on time, and time is not calling our attention, and it's whizzing right by. But I understand what she was asking. It seems like life is going by and it's going too fast. Somebody who values their time, values their life, values their experiences with their children, with their family, with their grandchildren, with their friends, they'd like it to linger around a little longer. So I said to her, since the only two options is either time goes very slow, and that's not a positive experience, and it's a journey of pain and a journey of hardships and of difficulty, and that's why you are paying attention to every single millisecond, or you fill your time up with things of value so that you exchange your time, you pay for the matter of value with your time, and then as time goes by, what you are left with are those things that you inserted and that you invested in the time, and that you exchanged your time for these purposeful, meaningful, worthwhile experiences, so that when the time goes by, you have eternal memories. You have the relationships that you developed, so that you look back and you look in the present moment and you see all the investments paying their dividends. So then you don't feel like life is just going by. You feel like you've accumulated. You feel like you are carrying with you the time, but you are carrying the time with you in very valuable assets. The valuable assets are those things that you filled up at the time, and you exchanged your time for those very, very special things. You know, there's a very famous story with the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe that he was about to go to prison, and he was sentenced to death. And as he was waiting for the train, he was involved in work, and you couldn't even tell on his face or on his schedule that what he was really preparing himself, or what he was about to embark upon in the next moment. And the previous Rebbe explained, and so did his father, the Rebbe before him, and the general rule is that success in time, success with time, is putting yourself into the moment. Because the truth is, the past moment is behind you. The coming moment hasn't yet been created. You haven't reached that moment. So why think about something that you have no control over and waste the present moment over the past that is already behind you and over the future that you haven't reached? The only thing that you really have every moment is this moment. And if it's a moment that you decided and you choose to fill it with good, positive, eternal investments, like doing mitzvahs, like investing in loving your fellow Jew, like taking the moment and saying some prayers and tehillim, then when you think back at the time that is behind you, you feel that your sack is filled with good stuff, and that you bringing it along with you in the present moment, what you spent your time in the past that you feel is going through so quickly. And she thought about it. What she liked very much of what I said was that the way to view time is to use it as a commodity that you're exchanging for something worthwhile. You are exchanging your time for worthwhile investments. And she liked that idea. And I think other people will like that idea as well. That when you take your time and you're conscientious of not wasting it, you're conscientious of using it in a way that it gets used for something worthwhile and something valuable, that worthwhile endeavor, undertaking, is something that remains attached to you, to your reputation, to your name, and to your relationships forever and ever. So when time goes by, you don't feel like you lost anything. You actually feel like you have accumulated interest on what you spent that time upon. So that's a little thought for today's Spiritual Soul book. You can always get a copy of www.aspiritualsoulbook.com. Phenomenal book. Everybody that reads it, every single person that reads it has told me that it's enriched their lives and that it's uplifted their spirit. So I encourage you as well to go and read the book. Until next time, may God bless everybody with goodness and with kindness and with the right mind and the right strength to fulfill the purpose that we are here in this world to accomplish.